We're live from the Cedar City for today's Salute to Service game, where we're celebrating America's military. And we're just a few hours away from MTSU hosting FIU in some Conference USA football, but we got more football going on around the country as we take a look around CUSA.
One of the nation's biggest surprises this college football season lies in the Atlanta suburb of Kennesaw, Georgia. A second-year FBS program, the Kennesaw State Owls are impressing under first-year head coach Jerry Mack. KSU finished 2024 as one of the worst teams in the country with a record of 2-10. Under Mack, the Owls boast CUSA's fifth-ranked offensive attack, a feisty second-ranked defense, and control their own destiny to the Conference USA Championship game. Currently riding a 6-game win streak, the former Jacksonville Jaguars and Tennessee Volunteers running back coach has his Owls soaring. A team many expected to fall off this season has quickly surpassed all off-season expectations in the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Many believed the reigning CUSA champion would falter with the departure of former head coach Rich Rodriguez to West Virginia. But the self-proclaimed butt-kicking Chickens haven't missed a beat with an offense riding the nation's leading rusher, Cam Cook. As of November 8th, Cook leads all running backs with 1,052 yards and has totaled 11 touchdowns on the season. Currently last in CUSA in passing yards per game, the Gamecocks aren't afraid to let Cam cook and rumble their way to ugly victories. Although Kennesaw and Jack State appear primed to face off in the title game, it's still too early to tell in the ever-competitive CUSA, with several teams on the outside looking in over these last few weeks. And you saw it right there, guys. Jack State and Kennesaw State look primed to run the table throughout the rest of the season to the championship game, but there's still a lot left to play for here in these last 4 weeks. We've got a lot of Conference USA matchups today, and let's take a look at them right here. To start off today, we've got Mo State taking on Liberty here for our noon kick. Then we've got Louisiana Tech taking on Delaware. FIU, of course, in Murfreesboro against MTSU on Veterans Day. Jack State at UTEP, Kennesaw State going across the country to New Mexico State, Sam Houston at Oregon State, and that wraps up our CUSA matchups for the week. Now, when we come back, we're going to have our main man right here, Devin Locker, with the scoop. He talked to Jake Gibson, the host of the Pause Up podcast, about the Panthers, and our guy over there, our host, Ethan Williams, with the scouting report from the boys from the 305. Stay tuned.
What I love about MTSU is that you already know if you are guaranteed to be admitted. The requirements aren't hidden, and you can know today if you are accepted and qualify for one of our guaranteed scholarships. There's no mystery. Plus, you can add all of your scholarships together. We have so much to offer, and it's all right here on campus. Apply on our website at mtsu.edu/apply now. And don't forget to submit your application by December 1st to qualify for a guaranteed scholarship.
I am True Blue.
As a member of this diverse community,
I am a valuable contributor
To its progress and success.
I am engaged in the life of this community.
I am a recipient and a giver.
I am a listener and a speaker. I am honest in word and deed.
I am committed to reason, not violence.
I am a learner.
Now and forever.
I am a Blue Raider.
I am a Blue Raider.
I'm a Blue Raider.
True Blue.
I help people.
I create music. I shape the future.
I am an entrepreneur.
I inspire people with more than words.
I ride forward. The sky is not my limit.
Find your blue at MTSU.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point, where Devin actually got to take a look at the other sideline and got to speak to an FIU fan and host of a podcast, and he's got the scoop for us.
And welcome back into another edition of The Scoop. Today, we are joined by the host of Pause Up Podcast, the official podcast of all FIU athletics. Jake Gibson. Let's dive right into it. What can we expect from this crazy FIU offense?
I think the offense lives and dies by the running game, led by our talented back, Keyshawn Owens. You know, if it weren't for Cam Cook at Jacksonville State, I'd say he would be a lock for first team All-CUSA with how he's been able to sometimes just put the team on his back, even in the games in which FIU struggled. But
what defense can we expect at this Middle Tennessee game?
Well, when FIU is taking on opposing quarterbacks that are sort of stay in the pocket, pass the ball around kind of playmakers like we did against Florida Atlantic and Western Kentucky, this defense is no stranger to forcing interceptions, making them uncomfortable, bending but not breaking, at the very least forcing field goals in the red zone.
That is all the time we have for this edition of The Scoop. Don't forget to tune in next Blue Raider Extra Point for another edition of The Scoop. Back to the desk. And it was great interviewing him and meeting him. And now, Ethan, you also look at the other side of the sideline with the scouting report. What do you have for us?
MTSU is back in the Borough and looking to finish the season strong as we hit the last month of regular season college football. But the Panthers of FIU are looking to pounce on their prey and stay in the hunt for a bowl game. FIU is a hard team to nail down. They play a very sporadic and inconsistent game. On offense, they tend to lean on the run with their electric running back, Keyshawn Owens, who has over 800 yards on the ground this season and averaged 6.5 yards per carry. Quarterback Keon Jenkins is also a threat to run it in short yardage or goal line situations. He's got 81 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns this season. But in the air, this battered MTSU defense is likely to catch a break, as FIU only averages 209 passing yards a game, with their top receiver, Alex Perry, only having 400 receiving yards on the year. Look to MTSU's D-line to have a strong game, as FIU's O-line has given up 16 sacks so far on the season. FIU's defense, much like their offense, is very inconsistent, and they break on big plays. But 2 names the Blue Raiders need to keep an eye on are defensive back Josiah McGrew and linebacker Johnny Chaney Jr. McGrew leads the team in interceptions and is 5th on the team in total tackles, and is one of the few consistent pieces on this defense. Chauncey Jr. is another solid piece at linebacker and can make plays all over the field. He currently leads the team with 72 total tackles and also has a sack and 2 forced fumbles on the year. Much like MTSU, FIU's secondary is their biggest weakness, so expect Nick Vadiato and these Blue Raider receivers to challenge the defense and take some deep shots. If MTSU wants to get their second win of the season, they'll need to light it up through the air, dominate the line of scrimmage, and limit big plays by FIU.
And be sure to stay tuned here because coming up we have some very special guests, and we also have a Blue Raider Spotlight and our keys to succeed.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, quick mic check.
Yeah, sure. Blue Raider Extra Point is live at the Hall of Fame.
Hey, you and Dylan are going to be on camera too this week, all right?
All right, got it.
Lightning! Hey, Lightning! You can come watch us.
Oh, is that Lightning?
Hey, even better, why don't you come join us?
Oh, hey, Lightning, what's up?
Better yet, you can take Noah's spot.
The new host of Blue Raider Extra Point, the one, the only Lightning.
We do it. The stars come to Middle Tennessee State University, and students come here to become stars, no matter what they pursue.
Hey, cut.
We do it. We're the only college of media and entertainment in the world, just outside the heart of Nashville.
Mic check, 1, 2, everybody listen. When you do it like this, ain't no competition. I'm talking B.I.G., VIP. Treat them like a front row seat and make them pay attention. If I shoot for the 3, then I ain't never missing. Cranking up the degrees like I was in the kitchen. Can't lose, got too much to prove. And when you do it all, it get too hard to do it.
Our curriculum and facilities are cutting edge, and our relationships with industry leaders give students an edge over the competition. Check it out! You can get real-world experience with degrees in recording industry, media arts, journalism and strategic media, and more. Media and entertainment at Middle Tennessee State University. Learn to shine.
And welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. It's college game day done the Murfreesboro way. And Brett, you were able to sit down and interview someone special, someone who keeps our campus safe. Take it away.
They see him everywhere.
Saw him drive by on a scooter, you know, with his cape flying behind him and everything, so that was kind of funny.
Lurking on the campus's highest perches, a watchful observer over Middle Tennessee State University.
I've seen him almost every day in the garage, late nights. Very cool interactions, usually a lot of photos.
He's the MTSU Batman, and his legend is growing. A previously little-known commodity, the campus's Caped Crusader is quickly becoming a prominent figure both on and off university grounds. Last week, ahead of the MTSU versus Jacksonville State football broadcast, ESPN2 producers captured the bat for a brief promotional shoot ahead of the game. The national TV broadcast highlighted the hero's activities and catapulted the vigilante into viral status on social media.
I really liked seeing myself on TV for the first time. It was very cool. All over Twitter, there were people talking about it. I saw one person say that I was like mainstream now. I'm not sure how true that is, but it was fun to see.
A sophomore at MTSU, the man behind the mask asked to keep his alter ego a secret, but opened up about his hobby. The 20-year-old English major says he's been cosplaying for half a decade and first donned Batman's cowl 3 years ago. He's worn over a dozen versions of the Batsuit, with the current model comprised of EVA foam, urethane rubber, and outsourced items from various replica companies. The suit's current form costs over $1,000 in total and is complete with 12 functioning utility belt gadgets. His love for the character runs deep, dating back to the animated Batman movies of the 1990s and the Lego Batman video games of the 2010s. Yet the Dark Knight's love for others is what drives him to leave the Batcave each morning.
I love you too.
When he's not patrolling campus, the MTSU Batman can be found visiting local elementary schools for charity events and lurking around his local comic book store, hoping to spread even more joy in his community.
My main goal is to make people smile. That's all I want. Whether they are laughing with me because it's a silly thing that I'm doing, or they're laughing at me because they think it's stupid. Either way, I'm bringing joy to people. And when they're laughing at me, they're not laughing at the person underneath the costume. They're laughing at Batman.
While MTSU's Garage Guardian hasn't stopped any crime just yet, his shadowing presence is already making a difference on campus.
Feel extra safe, like super safe. I just know he has my back.
Reporting from MTSU, I'm Brett Walker, Middle Tennessee News.
Yeah, guys, it was great getting to talk to the Dark Knight this past week for this little package that we got done. I actually hadn't heard of him until the ESPN promo reel went up during the Jack State game last week. So it was great getting to spotlight one of MTSU's more interesting figures on campus, and we might just get to see from him a little bit more a little later. But we're going to go straight into our keys to succeed first, and I'll just get it started right off, fellas.
Yeah.
All right, so first for MTSU's keys to succeed, they got to play for 60 minutes against FIU if they want to succeed against the Panthers. Look, no way you slice it. Middle Tennessee has 4 straight one-score losses. They just haven't been able to get it done in the fourth quarter. But honestly, if you talk to Coach Mason, it goes back to mistakes that they made in the first and second quarter. So if they want to get the dub, they're going to have to play all 4 against FIU to try to break their 5-game losing streak. And secondly, they're going to have to execute better on first and second down. We talked to Nick Badiato at the press conference this weekend, earlier this week, and he was just talking about setting up the offense. They haven't been able to do that because of mistakes made on first and second down. Their play rates haven't been great, and they haven't been able to set up the deep shots that they want. And last but certainly not least, contain Keyshawn Owens. The Blue Raiders did a great job containing Cam Cook, the conference's leading rusher, and I hope they do the same against the conference's second leading rusher tonight against FIU.
Yeah, for my keys, it's offense has struggled throughout the whole season. The defense has kept them in games. They have to be a leader on defense so MTSU can stay in this game, and they have to show their leadership again this game. They have to step in a big way. My second one, find one-on-one opportunities. When they find those one-on-one opportunities, especially outside the hash marks, deep routes, whether it's a post, a drag, or just an all-go route, especially Vadiato to Lacey, that's how they score, and that's how they are able to control the game. And finally, keep driving and finish through the play. You talk about playing 60 minutes, but before you play even 60 minutes, you got to play a full drive. Before you play a full drive, you got to play a full play. And recently, as soon as they get hit, they just stop churning their legs. They got to keep churning their legs and get another yard.
For my keys to succeed, first and foremost, MTSU just has to be able to stop the run. FIU is a team that's not really very good at putting it in the air, as we talked about in the scouting report. Their leading receiver only has 400 yards. Their quarterback has only thrown 6 passing touchdowns. They don't like to put the ball in the air. They really lean on their running back, who has 800 yards on the season so far, averages 6.5 yards per carry. So they're really going to have to focus on stopping him. So look for Parker Hughes and Alex Mitchell to have some big days, as well as this tough MTSU defensive line. Secondly, this is a secondary that, you know, during the scoop they bragged about, but looking at the tape, it's not that great. MTSU just has to be able to complete a pass. They've got to get these big chunk plays. They can't just lean on the legs of Vadiato and Middlebrook the whole game. They're going to have to get a chain of plays together to get in the end zone. And my last one is they just have to take it deep. They've got some great receivers, Cameron Lacey, Najee Cox. They just have to start throwing up some deep balls and just not necessarily hope for the best, but be the best. And so be sure to stay tuned here to Blue Raider Extra Point, because coming up we'll have a very special guest, and we'll also have the best segment of the show, the picks.
And that's how electricity flows.
Hey, Mom! Don't break it, don't break it. It's just one thing. Thank you.
Wow, this looks amazing.
This is the electric robot I made all by myself.
See that? Go slow.
I see it.
Hello. Hello. You are looking good today.
Well, thank you.
I think it's time we take this off, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Oh, you all right? Say hi to Becca for me.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for the extra delivery this week.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point, where now we're joined by the MTSU Batman, who's made a trip out of the Bat Lair and taken some time to spend some time with us. And you were on ESPN, you were off the silver screen into the borough and all over social media. How does it feel to have just really blown up recently?
That's right. This is my first time that I've gone a little bit, I'd say viral. I define viral as not getting a bunch of likes on one video, but one video spreading throughout other videos and other platforms. So it was very nice to see, very rewarding, very validating.
And how long have you been, keeping the campus of MTSU safe?
I have been patrolling MTSU campus as Batman for about a collective school year now. I started around halfway through last year, and I've been going about once every 1 or 2 weeks ever since then.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and start looking into some of the big games today. We're going to go into our picks. And Batman, how would you like to go first? Talk to us about Missouri State versus Liberty.
All right, so looks like Liberty is good at defending passes. They're the #1 in Conference USA when it comes to passing defense. while the Missouri State Bears are the third passing offense in Conference USA, and they average 254 yards per game. I personally do not know much about football, so I will be picking my points based on the mascots. So let's see, we have the Liberty University Flames. Now, I'm aware that this team has a fire-spitting eagle as their mascot, which is objectively very cool. But it does remind me of my villain, Firefly, who I despise, so I'm going to have to go with the Missouri State Bears.
And you, Brett?
Very interesting pick, Batman. I like the philosophy with there. You know, a fire-breathing eagle does seem pretty dangerous to the citizens of Gotham, so I'm glad that you're keeping that in mind when you're making your pick. Well, for me, these are two teams. If you looked at this game at the start of the year, you wouldn't have thought very much of it. Missouri State, first year in the conference. Liberty looked primed to be one of those conference frontrunners, but they've kind of now settled here in the front middle of the pack. And Missouri State's getting quarterback Jacob Clark back after losing him to injury in the middle of the year. But I think I'm going to have to go with a home team in this one. Give me the Flames. They've been roaring as of late. And give me Liberty to take this one home against Mo State.
Yeah, for Missouri State, they got to control the clock. You talked about Jacob Clark coming back. He may still be a little rusty. He hasn't played in quite a few weeks, and he may be still scared in that pocket trying to avoid sacks. For Liberty, they have to control their zone defense. If they're able to do that, whether that's not allowing big plays or keeping the run to a minimum, like 5 yards, they'll be able to win that game. And I think that's exactly what they do. They control the zone D. They don't allow big plays, and they'll allow 5 or 6 yards here and there. Give me the Flames.
I'm actually going to go with the Missouri State Bears. This is not the same Liberty team that we've seen in past seasons. They've really been struggling on both sides of the ball. And Missouri State, as you mentioned, their quarterback, he's coming back off of an injury. But I think he'll still be real hot so long as they can keep him upright in the pocket and keep the defenders from sacking him. So I think that the Missouri State Bears will walk out of Lynchburg with a win. And now we're going to go to our second game. Batman, who do you got between Louisiana Tech and the Delaware Blue Hens?
Let's see, so the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, they are running the ball third in Conference USA with 176 yards per game. And the Delaware Blue Hens, they are one of the best at offense, averaging almost 420 yards a game, so they really get around. Let's see, so the Bulldogs, it's a nice breed, very tough. But the Blue Hens, blue-colored birds remind me of my partner Nightwing, so I'm going to have to go with the Delaware Blue Hens.
You know, it's curious that you say that. You know, I didn't even think about that. You know, I was wondering how close a blue hen would be to a penguin, but I guess not very close, and I think you ended up making the right move with that one. So looking at this game, again, two teams that started off the season really hot. Delaware got their first FBS win early against UConn in a thrilling overtime win. La Tech started out hot, has kind of cooled off in conference play, but last week they got a big win on homecoming wearing the blackout unis, scored 55 points in that Friday night W. And so give me the Bulldogs to take the road win over Delaware into next week.
Yeah, so Louisiana Tech, they have to stay true to who they are. They're an air raid offense, and when they start running the ball, they lose their identity and just crumble. And that's how they've fallen off and averaged out to like the middle of the pack in Conference USA, whereas Delaware, they'll run it down your throats. And Delaware's new to Conference USA, so I do think Delaware makes a statement against Liberty at Delaware at home and runs it down their throats, and the Blue Hens win.
For this one, I'm going to go with the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs started off the season really hot, started to slow down here as the season's gone on, but I still believe in the Bulldogs. They play a very fun, fast-paced offense, and Delaware's defense, we saw it against MTSU. They bend and break a lot throughout the game, so I'm going to go with Louisiana Tech to take down the Delaware Blue Hens. And now heading into our next matchup, Batman, we have Kennesaw State Owls versus the New Mexico State Aggies. Who do you got?
All right, let's see. Kennesaw State Owls, looks like their defense has improved and become a great strength of theirs. They've been described as very much in contention in the Conference USA. And the New Mexico State Aggies, they are great at their passing offense. And one of the biggest upswings for the Aggies this season is their aerial attack. Now, the State Owls, not too fond of owls, have been having a few run-ins with a certain secret society working in Gotham's shadows. If you know, you know. So I'm going to have to go with the State Aggies. I've been spending a lot of time with Crypto, Superman's dog, so I've grown quite fond of soft-colored, furry dogs.
Yeah, to be honest there, I didn't even think about the core of owls, but that's a good pick there. You know what? What even is an Aggie anyway? So that's a good pick for New Mexico State. So Kennesaw State, I cannot gush enough. I talked about it around the CUSA. The job that Jerry Mack has done in his first year as the Kennesaw State head coach. This is one of the worst teams in the country and has flipped right around and become a contender in CUSA. And this is kind of a maturity test for them. They're going across the country to face off against New Mexico State after rolling some big wins. They're leading the conference. So we'll see how much control Mack has over his team and whether they're matured enough to go across the country and get the win. But give me the Owls in this one. I think Coach Mack's team continues to roll.
Yeah, he has been dominant and very surprising to all of college football, especially how the Owls have performed. For the Aggies, they have to avoid the deep shots and big plays that KSU allows. But Kennesaw State, they're going across the country, probably the farthest they've gone in for forever, and they have to dominate the air, take care of business, and that's exactly what they do. Give me the Owls.
Me, Devin, and Brett, we all three went down to MTSU versus Kennesaw State. We got to hear that catchy theme song, and I don't think New Mexico State wants to go to war with the Owls. Kennesaw State, such an electric offense. New Mexico State, such just a shaky and really pathetic defense. I'm taking the Owls to light it up against the Aggies and get a big win on the road. So now our last pick, the game that we're here to see, MTSU versus the FIU Panthers. Batman, who do you got?
I think this one's pretty cut and dry. I'm MTSU's Batman, so I'm going to have to go with MTSU.
Yeah, Batman, I love what you do. I really respect what you do on campus. It's great to have you in the community.
Thank you.
I think, I talked to some people for that video earlier this week, and they were just thrilled that someone is watching out for them. But unfortunately, I don't know if this puts me on some kind of hit list, but I'm going to have to disagree. I think MTSU, they've played in a lot of one-score games over the last couple of weeks. And talking with Coach Mason, it's like they know what needs to be done, but they just haven't been able to execute and do it. And, to be completely honest with you, I think the Blue Raiders are going to finish strong this season. They've got 4 games left, and I think they take 2 of those 4. But unfortunately, I don't think they get it done today. And FIU gets the road win and takes a W back to the 305.
Well, FIU, they're 2 wins away from a bowl game. They're searching for those 2 wins. They have Mr. 305 Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide on their side, and they can run it down your throats. They have over 500 yards of rushing on average, but the thing is, the Blue Raiders are built around community. You said, Batman, it's a community of Middle Tennessee. It's a community of Murfreesboro you keep safe. Middle Tennessee's borough built and middle made. It's family weekend, but it's also a vets game. They help the community of Murfreesboro and give me the Blue Raiders to get their 2nd win and first conference win in 2025.
Yeah, MTSU, as you mentioned, they haven't won any home games this year. They haven't won a home game since October of last year. And so the Blue Raiders, I'm actually taking them to take down the FIU Panthers. I think it's a very favorable matchup for the Blue Raiders as they are phenomenal at stopping the run. And it seems like on offense, that's all that FIU can really do. So give me the Blue Raiders. And, well, as we're wrapping up our show here, if you've missed this or any show, you can check them out on our YouTube page, which is at MTN Sports on YouTube, at MTN Sports 1 on X or Twitter, at Middle TN News on Instagram, and _MTN Sports on TikTok. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to the MTSU Batman for coming out and spending time with us. And as for me, Devin Lockhart, Brett Walker, and everyone else who's helped make this show a possibility, we'll see you at the game.